Hi, this is going to be a quick demo on how to run the accounts receivable and accounts payable portions of the brokerage invoicing section. Prerequisites for getting into the section would be that you have a load ready to be billed in our system. We have anything that's at least a dispatch status will show up in the invoicing, and as long as you have a customer on there with money on the load, then it shows up in here to be printed. So in order to print an invoice, it's really simple. You're going to have to check mark the line item that you, or the line with the invoice number that you want to print. For us, we're going to play with Pro number 5000. I would then go ahead and, just for this, I'm going to make sure I have a print paper copy selected and print preview. If you do not want the preview screen, you just want to print off invoices, you can just uncheck that and it'll spit it out to your printer. With it on, it will just give you a preview screen, which I'll show you. And I can come back later and cover these two in just a minute. Process invoice. This is my invoice 5000. It shows everything that's on the load and the delivery dates and everything associated with this load. I'm going to go ahead and at this point I can either email it out, or if I wanted to, I could go ahead and just print it. I'm going to assume I printed it. Uh, so now we would go over to the accounts receivable portion, and you can now see that it's here ready to be to receive payment on. So to receive a payment, you're going to go ahead and document the check number that the customer has sent you. So check number 1001 is maybe the one that they paid on, and then the amount of money that they paid you. So if it's short paid, you would just put in the amount of the check. So 1001 for this is going to be as simple as putting in a 2000 I'm sorry, $2,060. And if I want to add any other information, I can, reference number or anything like that, and then I just post payment. Once I put, oh, sorry, I have to check that off just like invoicing. Once I post the payment, it's going to give me a screen. I will preview this screen. This is what prints off. It's a payment receipt that you are putting the payment into Dr. Dispatch, receiving payment from your customer, and the date that you actually posted it. You would print this off for your records. I'm going to go ahead and close this and move over to the accounts payable screen. When I do the accounts payable screen, it's kind of the same situation. I'm going to check mark off to process this invoice, except the difference here is I have to find the invoices first based on carrier. So instead of having a full list, which I can show all of them, I'm actually just going to process carriers for one. So I'm going to drop off the show all. I'm going to drop down my Wonder Trucking, and now I have my Pro number 1000 ready to go. The invoice number is going to be them sending you an invoice because they delivered your load. So that number could be their Pro number, just like you use a Pro number. They're going to use their own number. So whatever that is, and I'll just make one up here. And then, of course, the check number that you are writing to send them the payment. So in your system, it might be 1524. I'll just make that up. So as I post that settlement, it's going to give me another settlement that prints up. Kind of the same situation. This is a proof that I paid this and what day that I sent it out with the invoice number that they referenced, everything associated with it. And then this is kind of like their sheet that if we want to show what day we paid it, the amount we paid it, we could send them this as a statement or proof that we printed it out at that day. I'm going to go ahead and close that. I'm going to go ahead and close this, and then when I want to finish processing, it'll ask me if it's saved, printed properly. I say yes, and now it's off my thing. Now, just a few little things here. Reports, I can look at the accounts payable aging. I can look at the accounts receivable aging. Remember, receiving money, paying out money. That's pretty much what those mean. If I want to look at the carrier 1099 list at the end of the year, I can print that off just by clicking into here and getting in a date range. Some other notable things in here would be the loads waiting for bills. If I print that off, it's going to give me a list of all of the invoice or loads that I have not invoiced yet. I'm waiting on bills for me to be able to invoice them. If I needed to reverse any of that, I can actually go to the accounts payable history, accounts receivable history. I can reverse the invoice. I can also enter an AR account balance, or reprint the invoice. So if I wanted to enter checks, I can also do that without going in here and select a carrier. It's kind of the same situation. We do have a way to do a chargeback. This would be the way to process a carrier who had possibly had an insurance claim or something wasn't quite right, and you're going to take money off of what you owe them. Uh, Same situation can occur on the accounts receivable. If you had received a short amount of money, then you would be able to actually do an AR balance adjustment and reduce that balance to from $2,060 by reducing it $60. You reduce it down to be actually exactly even with what you should have been paid, and balance out the check or balance out your account. And I said we would revisit these three options over here. So print and manifest form allows you to group your customers together, print off multiple pro numbers on one sheet of paper. There's different options that basically put in the serial number, the trailer number, the comments if you want them. Then we also have the print, ship, and receiver addresses on invoices. It's going to fill out your invoice a little bit more information. We have the ability to put in a custom invoice date on any invoice. So if you had to reverse something that you possibly messed up a week ago, you could reprint the invoice with the week ago date on there to get your books correctly and get the invoice created for the customer under the right terms. The other thing is to print the POD information. This will print off a little piece of paper receipt that shows off the delivery date and time that we have on the load. This is Brandon. If you have any other questions, please feel free to give us a call. Thanks.